Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Old Time Rock and Roll. I'm your host, David Tear, where I've been featuring my personal top 3,000 songs of the rock era from 1954 to 1999. Today, I'm up to song number 2894, which is The Old Man Down the Road by John Fogerty. This was featured on his number one album. The song went to number 10, by the way, 1985. And it was featured on his number one album entitled Centerfield, which I think is a really good album. I didn't own this album, but I like the songs on it. And in case you guys don't know, John Fogerty, I'll give you a little bit of a background first. So he was born in Berkeley, California, 1945, and in 1968 he decided to form a group. There's a picture of him, kind of a nice looking guy, and he decided to form a rock group with his brother Tom Fogerty. Here's Tom shown here, and they formed one of the biggest groups of the rock era, Creedence Clearwater Revival, sometimes just known by their acronym CCR. I think they were a really excellent band, and it's kind of strange because even though the Fogertys were from the Bay Area, they had the Southern sound. I don't know why. I mean, John Fogerty was just always fascinated by the South for some reason, and I guess he just decided to form a kind of Southern sounding rock band. But they sounded great. I mean, they had many big hits, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll just go through some of the biggest ones. I think their first big hit was called Susie Q. That wasn't actually their own song. That was a remake of a song from the 50s, but that was their first big hit in 1968. And then they ended up having like five, I think it was five number two songs. They never went to number one, which is kind of strange. But they had five number two songs without ever having a number one song, which is a record. No other band or artist has had that many number two songs without a number one. I think I remember them all. Proud Mary was their first, and then they had Bad Moon Rising and Green River. Those were all in '69. In the 1970, they had Traveling Band, and they also had Looking Out My Back Door. So those were their number two songs, and they had many other big hits too. I can think of a few others. Who'll Stop the Rain? They did a few kind of protest songs. They also did one called Fortunate Son. Um, their songs were either kind of protest songs or they were kind of old folk songs that they kind of remade. Like I featured a couple of their songs already on my list. The last one I featured was Midnight Special, just a couple weeks ago. That's an old folk song from actually the late 19th century. I'm not going to go all over that one again, but they redid it. I think they did a really excellent job with it, and I just love them. I think they were a great band, but they broke up in 1972, and I guess after that, John Fogerty went solo. But he had several solo hits. I was kind of surprised to learn this. I mean, I know a few of his solo hits, but he started hitting right after CCR broke up. His solo hits included his first one was 1973, was called Jambalaya or On the Bayou, and then in the same year he had Hearts of Stone, and then 75 he had Rockin' All Over the World. I'm just going through his top 40 hits. He had a few other minor hits, and then in 85 that's when he had the song I'm featuring today, The Old Man Down the Road. This was featured, like I said, on the album Centerfield, which I really like. And he had a couple other hits from this album, Rock and Roll Girls and Centerfield, the title song. Actually, Centerfield was a minor hit. It didn't quite make the top 40. It made the number 44. But I think it's one of the best songs he had, and actually one of the best songs even by CCR as well, and it's coming up much higher on my list. Several other CCR songs are coming up on my list. Like I said, they were an amazing band. And I just want to say one more thing, I guess, oh, yeah, a couple more things actually about this song, The Old Man Down the Road. I mean, first, I guess I'll say what it's about. It's about the devil. The old man down the road's supposed to be the devil. And he's talking about how you got to be wary of the devil. He's going to try to make deals with you. It's kind of a Faustian metaphor. Like, don't make any deals with the devil. Avoid him. You got to run. You got to hide. Just don't deal with the devil. That's basically what the song's about. And he actually got the Saul Zentz. He was the owner of Fantasy Records. I guess they were the record company that recorded this song. He actually tried to sue John Fogerty for this song, and I think this was a really ridiculous lawsuit. He lost, by the way, but he tried to sue John Fogerty because he's claimed that he used the same chorus that he used on another one of CCR's songs, "Run Through the Jungle." And I guess he happened to own the rights to this song, so he was trying to sue him, even though this was a song he probably wrote himself, John Fogerty. I think it was a ridiculous lawsuit, and I'm really glad he lost. John Fogerty won this suit, and he was even reimbursed his legal fees, which was like $1.3 million. So good for John Fogerty. I'm glad he prevailed in this crazy lawsuit. Anyway, like I said, I'm a big fan of CCR and John Fogerty. And that's my profile on The Old Man Down the Road by John Fogerty. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.